Hey everyone, welcome back to my Loom kitchen, and today we'll be making these Loom mimosas. Mimosas are champagne-based cocktails, so if you wanted it to be a plain champagne glass, you could just do without the garnish and change the colors. This is probably the easiest out of all the Loom cocktails I have in my collection. In the link below this video, in the information box, if you click on it, it'll take you to the recipe page. And I listed the number of bands needed as well as all the colors I used to make this creation. So check that out, come back, and let's begin. Few things to mention before we start. This creation does need stuffing, and since this is mostly made out of single bands because I wanted it to look as delicate as a champagne flute, you do need the support for the stem and for it to stand. So I'm using these balloon sticks. And I cut them to 4 inches in height, and we're going to attach them to these plastic cups that come with it to help the champagne flute stand. These are the garnishes that I used for this creation. The strawberries actually from my Loom baked pie slices, and I have a link to this on the recipe page. These fruit slices, I have my grapefruit and my orange slice, are actually giant versions of Jordantine One's large circle burst charm, and I have a link to her tutorial on the recipe page as well. I listed the colors I used to make these and how I made them larger also. And this is my simple leaf garnish, which I'll show you how to make now. To make the leaf garnish, you'll just need your loom set in the offset configuration, and you can make it as tall or as short as you want. So you take a single green band, doubled it on itself, and on the center row I'll show you by going down 6 times, but you can make it longer if you want it longer. Next, you take another single band, doubled, and you go from the second row to the first row, and double again, and this time you'll only go down 5 times. Then you're gonna add crossover bands, doubled, and single band to cap that off. But if you can make it as tight as you can. Now you're just gonna loop it up as you normally would. Go through your cap band, top band, loop it onto itself, lower band, loop it onto itself, and then just loop this row up and loop this row up, and we'll meet back on top here. Now you push all the bands on this top peg down and you remove everything else off the loom. Just turn it around, keep it on the side. Now you take a single green band again and you go down your middle row. You can do it the same length or you can make it shorter. I'll show you how it looks when it's shorter. So I'll go down 4 times. Then I'll go opposite. Then you're gonna add crossover bands, doubled. Cap it off. And you loop that up as well. Do your cap band. Take the top and loop it onto itself. Do your cap band. Loop that one to itself. Then go up your rows one at a time. Push all the bands on this top peg down and you remove everything else off the loom. Now put your hook through that really thick end area and we're going to tie it off here. But before that, I want to lessen the number of bands, so I'm going to pick up the lower two and just pull it up and over. Take a clear band and pull that through with a slip knot. And that's your leaf garnish. You're going to need your regular loom. Remove the center row, and if you could have the remaining 2 rows facing on opposite directions. My front is facing to the right, my back is facing to the left. Take your hook, crochet hook or your loom hook, 2 of your drink colored bands, wrap it around twice. Take 4 bands, pull it through. Then you take the ends of 1 pair of bands, so it looks like that. You take 2 bands, pull that through one end, Put it down here. I'll take the ends of that other pair over here. And pull another 2 bands through. Put that end down here. Now place your hook through again, the center. And you're just going to do the same and pull up a chain of 2 bands. Place that second chain down here. Center. So just for the base of the drink portion, because this is the top drink portion of the glass, you're just going to continue doing this. Insert your hook, pull up double bands, a chain of double bands from the center. You place a second chain down, and you're going to fill up 8 pegs on each side. So we're going to have a total of 16 pegs with these double chains coming from the center. So pause your video, finish up the double chains from the center, and fill up 8 pegs on each side. Unpause when you're done, and we'll resume from there. We're now going to add on the glass rim on top. So push all your drink colored bands down. Now you're going to take single bands and then I did something different. Place one end on each peg and you twist so it gets nice and thin. You're just going to continue doing that all around. Now on the last area, where we're going to add that glass rim, I'm going to start adding on my giant wedge. Place your hook at the center. Place one end down. Just twist. So you have it there. Now for the next row to place on top is another row of twisted bands. So just go through the fruit slice first. Put your hook through, one end down, twist, and just continue filling up the second row for your glass bands with the same twisted glass band method. So pause your video, finish up this second row of twisted glass bands, unpause when you're done, and we'll resume from there. So we have two rows of our twisted glass bands over our drink portion. So now you just take your hook and pick up the lower twisted glass band and pull it up and over. Don't touch the drink portion. Those are the lower two glass bands on the peg. I'll speed up a lot of times during this tutorial because most of the actions are repetitive. So anytime you need to pause your video, if you need to catch up, please do so. We're going to need two more rows of those twisted glass bands. One row means to lay down your twisted glass bands and then you lift them up and over after you're done. But for these last two rows, I want my attachment to be a little tighter since it's moving around too much. So what I'll do is, instead of inserting it in the center, I'll choose a portion outside and I'll pull my glass band through. Anchor it onto one peg, take the other side and twist it before laying it down. Now continue with the rest of this row. Pause your video, finish up this second row of the twisted glass bands. Then finish up one more row for a total of 3 rows of twisted glass bands. Unpause when you're done and we'll resume from there. Finished. We finished 3 rounds of your glass bands on top of your drink portion. And now we're going to just lift all the lower drink bands up and over. We are on 16 pegs, and we now have to make 6 rows of your drink colored bands. So one row means just lay down your single drink colored bands. And after you lay down those drink bands, you're just going to lift the lower bands up and over. On the garnish area, just lift it and drink band should go under. So we're finishing up round 1 on the 16 pegs. So we need 5 more rounds. Pause your video and finish up 5 more rounds of your single drink colored bands. Unpause when you're done and we'll resume from there. We're done with our 6 rounds on 16 pegs, so now we'll decrease to 14 pegs. So on this extended area, pick up the top band, and it's coming from here, so just bring it to the other side. Pick up the lower one, bring it opposite where it comes from. Same with this area. Here, bring it here. After every decrease, we'll be doing 2 rounds. So pause your video and finish up the 2 rounds on these 14 pegs. Unpause when you're done and we'll resume from there. We finished 2 rounds on the 14 pegs, so we're going to decrease again to 12. From here, take one band, put it opposite where it comes from. Do the same here. So we're now on 12 pegs. If you can pause your video again and finish your 2 rounds on these 12 pegs. Unpause when you're done and we'll resume from there. Before we decrease from 12 pegs to 10 pegs, let's slowly push this up. Just be careful not to remove the bands off the pegs. Now decrease from here. Upper band, opposite from where it comes from. Lower band as well. Do it in the opposite side. We're now on 10 pegs. If you can pause your video again and finish your 2 rounds. We're done with the 2 rounds on the 10 pegs, and I'm going to slowly add some stuffing. Now let's decrease here. Top band. Opposite. On 8 pegs now, 2 rounds again. So layer single bands. Round 2. Add more stuffing before we decrease to 6 pegs. Now let's decrease on this extended peg. Bring them opposite, each band opposite from where they come from. Two rounds on the 6 pegs. The first round will be the drink color, while the second round should be the glass color. Second round with the glass color on the 6 pegs. Before we decrease to 4 pegs, it's the last chance you'll get to add any more stuffing. Now let's decrease from here. Bring it opposite. Same on this side. One band opposite. And the other goes opposite. Now in 4 pegs, we're going to need 12 rounds of your glass bands. So lay single bands around the 4 pegs. Then you lift the lower bands up and over. So this is the first round. If you can pause your video and finish up 11 more rounds on these 4 pegs. Come back when you're done and we'll resume from there. After 12 rounds on 4 pegs, it should look this way. Now you take your balloon stick with a cup attached and insert it. Try to center it, and it helps to twist it in. So now we're almost done. Now we just have to extend the stem area so we can flare out the bottom portion and create like a skirt to cover the cup. Take a single band, place it here, another single band over here, single band here, and another one to close that off. So we're now at 6 pegs again, and we're going to do 3 rounds of single glass bands. So we're going to extend now to 8 pegs, get the single glass band and exit out here. Close that off, single band X'd out. Let's do the same on the opposite side. Now on 8 pegs, we're going to do 3 rounds. 3 rounds of single bands. So for our last increase, we're going to exit out to 10 pegs. Exit out here and over here. Close it off. Now we're going to do 2 rounds of single bands on these 10 pegs. We're now on our very last step to close this off. We're going to start on this peg, but first we go to the peg across. Put your hook through, pick up the lower band and pull it over to your starting peg. Hook through, Push back the upper two bands, pick up the lowest band, move it forward. Hook through, pick up the lowest band, move it forward. And we're just going to repeat that all around. You're back to your starting peg and put your hook through, pull up a single clear glass band and tie that off in a slip knot and remove it from your loom. Now just lower that extended skirt over the cup area. Just adjust and shape your glass the way you want it to look. And that's it. So I hope you like it. Enjoy your cocktail.